Mic check, microphone check. Welcome, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Unlimited Tirade, episode 4, episode cuatro to all of my Latino and Hispanic community members. Welcome, guys. It has been a bit of a lackluster week, I want to say. At the same time, it's also been a shit show, depending on who you're asking. The internet is full of amazing things and wondrous things. The internet provides, if you will. The internet provides mishaps, misfortunes, amazing things. And we're always excited to see what the internet's going to provide us, guys, at a consistent basis. And if you doubt it, then all I have to tell you
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
that, guys, don't forget to force choke the like button. You might be asking, why is Decrepit? Why is he sitting here all solo? And the answer to that is Narrow Dark. He had to go ahead and take a little bit of a break this week, but don't worry, Narrow Dark is going to return on another episode soon hereafter. We will not worry about him. We will see him again. And I was about to say why Keely wasn't here, but look who it is in the backstage. It is Captain Keely. What's up?
I'm never late. I arrive precisely when I mean to.
Precisely when he needs to, guys.
How embarrassing. How embarrassing.
Good to see you in here, brother. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. I'm glad you could make it. Glad you could make it. I sent the link out to Keely today, so and I also added on after. I sent it to him rather late, I want to say, too. It was about probably like 5 minutes to 9 o'clock tonight, and I sent it out. So that is my bad. I didn't give him enough time to prep, but no matter, he is here, and we are we are happy to have you. Let's see. We had the backseater said, "It's Latinx, you bigot." You are right, Mr. Backseater. I apologize. I am sorry that I have offended the Latino or Latinx, I should say, Hispanic community. My apologies. But yeah, man, I was just saying that the internet provides amazing things. We have been seeing the misfortunes actually this week of a particular former Star Wars cast member. And I'm pretty sure Keely already knows where I'm going to go with this. You've already heard Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers talk about this one. You've already seen Ryan Kennel do a little bit of a video. Everyone's made like already their like 5 to 10 minute long videos about this topic that I'm about to bring up. But who do you think I'm talking about, Keely?
I don't know. Yeah, could it be
no telling?
Probably some old fart that should be in the casket by now.
Of course, we are talking about Mr. Mark Hamill. Now, when I saw this hit the news feed, it was rather quick. I saw it probably, I want to say, like within the hour of it happening. I was on X scrolling through up and down, just trying to catch my daily internet tisms, seeing what's going on in the interwebs. And I honestly, you see one of those advertisements or one of those posts, I should say, of like maybe like a fake post. Maybe somebody's out there just trying to stir up some controversy. But no, sure as shit, man. I clicked on the link. It was the exact link that I sent to you and Narrow Dark in our group chat on X. And this was honestly, I didn't expect this on my bingo card this week. This was all I want to say is it's a gift and a curse all in one, wrapped up. So for those who don't know, Mark Hamill did a presentation at the BAFTA Awards, and basically his pants fell halfway down his fucking legs mid speech. And this is the video right here for those who haven't seen it, and I'll go ahead and play it for you guys right now.
So what makes us love cinema so much that we're all gathered here to celebrate tonight? For me, it's that films create worlds so vivid and stories so powerful that we lose ourselves in them completely. They create immersive cinematic landscapes that feel alive, whether they're set here in London.
Like, talk about luck. First of all, to the people that saw this on the left and the right hand sides, This motherfucker is so lucky that this podium right here was like not like a skinny little podium and then a flat table on top, or it wasn't see-through. He got very lucky in that regard. Like this
I
guy
could imagine if it wasn't.
couldn't have happened to a better person. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Mark Hamill, for anyone that's been living under a rock, Mark Hamill's been just out here literally showing his ass on the internet and just going insane. You could say he has the ultimate Trump derangement syndrome. And we don't have to agree politically, but the way that this guy has just been going on about like Trump supporters and people who support like the right wing, he's just been going off. And he's really one of those people, or one of those actors or celebrities, that if I was his publicist or one of his managers, I'd be like, yo, you need to shut the fuck up right now. Like, you need to stop talking, because this is just simply the comeuppance of the year that I didn't see coming. And Backseater said it perfect. That's what we in the business call karma. Excuse me. Mark Hamill's just been acting like a shitty person for the last, I want to say, like 5 to 6 years. He's been really just showing his true colors online. He's one of those people that shouldn't have the internet access, and I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking when he was going off the way he was, but this is a perfect example of the fact that Mark Hamill is not all powerful. He is not almighty. He is definitely a regular human being, a regular dumb retard motherfucker, if you will. And it happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. You could be sitting there chugging a beer with your mates, and next thing you know, your pants are halfway down your ass. So yeah, couldn't have happened to a better person, honestly.
It's well, there was he's I think he was in a car crash, right? Like
it escapes me right now, like off the top of my head, but I do know that
he was in a car crash before Empire Strikes Back or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they have the Wampa scene to explain the like face that's damaged or whatever.
He's a little fucked up.
So maybe that was the reason.
Yeah, that's why maybe he got his brain jumbled up. Knights of Undercover, good to see ya. Mark Hamill is a degenerate and pull his pants down is so degenerate what a pedophile would do. Hey, you know what, dude? It looked like he was honestly drunk off his ass. He looked like he's been knocking him back lately. He's become a degenerate alcoholic for sure. But
he's just like me for real.
Yeah, exactly. So he's definitely been going on a slippery.
Parts, but, except for the other parts.
He's definitely been going on a slippery slope, Mark Hamill, and this couldn't have happened to a better person, honestly. If he wasn't going on his fucking internet tirades as how he's been the last few years, honestly, I might maybe slightly feel bad that this happened to him live on television. But honestly, this is one of those things where I saw it and I was just like, Scott Tinneman, your tears, Scott, your tears. This was so good. I honestly loved this happening to him. And I can't say it enough. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Bro's definitely salty he didn't get many other live action film roles. And you know what, Backseater, I will say that I saw somebody try to say that, oh, this was like a humiliation ritual kind of thing. Like he's been off his rocker and he's been sucking hard for like the lefties in Hollywood, and he had to do something embarrassing or get humiliated live or public in order to get maybe considered for a new role. That's a rabbit hole all in itself if you want to go down, if you believe into the conspiracy theories of things in Hollywood and whatnot. So that's take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But yeah,
someone who's saying those kind of things, this is just an old dude's pants falling down.
Yeah, honestly. And this right here, I'll mute it real quick, so we don't need to hear him talk again. But right here, when it happens, like you can kind of see the expression on his face, like he definitely didn't expect this to happen. It was right there, like his eyes go all wide, and then he just pulls his shit up. And apparently, when he walked on stage, he had no malfunctions with his wardrobe whatsoever. So this definitely a weird occurrence to just happen to him out of nowhere. When I posted it on X, I said, "Oh, Yoda was was over behind backstage behind curtain one with his hand peeking out, and he pulled his pants down using the Force."
Imagine
So
there was like a tiny little rope attached to his pants, and someone just yanked a cord or whatever. They just
that would
yanked
be
out.
honestly pretty. That would be fucking hilarious. That would be fucking funny. Yeah, but
Or it was
no.
like Carrie Fisher having a little fun as a little Force ghost, But yeah,
Carrie Fisher getting back at her on-screen silver screen brother in a words. But yeah, Mark Hamill, his pants fell down. Everybody had a good laugh. Couldn't have happened to a better guy, honestly. But on that was really like the biggest thing that I saw that happened this week, like in the reporting space, if you will. There was things that popped up as well regarding like Star Wars, Disney Star Wars news. We don't have to harp on them, but there was a few things that did hit my table this week. People are still talking about the Ray film. People are still talking about how we talked about it, discussed it, I want to say on the last episode. Daisy Ridley was like talking out of her ass, kind of not really or she was talking in circles, if you will, and then the possibilities of her being a producer on this Ray film that's being directed by Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy still. And oh shit, I didn't even see the comments. My bad, guys. Hooray! There we go. My bad. I had the other tab in StreamYard opened up and I couldn't see your guys' responses. But yeah, no, but I will say that we know that many different writers have attached themselves to Star Wars projects, and then unfortunately they don't pan out. They end up leaving. Creative differences is one of the biggest things that's always said when it comes to somebody leaving one of the Star Wars films. And we know that Stephen Knight was somebody recently who wrote something for the Ray film, and then he had to part ways. And was it regarding the fact that he had to go on a different project, or just he couldn't come to a communicate, or there was communication barriers, or he couldn't agree with something with Kathleen Kennedy? Who the fuck knows? I really don't give a shit. But I will say that he made a little bit of a comment in a recent interview, and it was Stephen, and it was reported right here. This is IRMonline.com that reported this, saying Stephen Knight comments on his time writing the Star Wars Ray sequel. And it's not that much. He only harps on it very, very slightly. But he said it was an interview that he did with Telegraph, and he says, meanwhile, when we met, Knight was also working on a new Star Wars film, but it has since emerged that he is no longer involved in the project. That we already knew. There's a system, and here his quote starts, there's a system, and when you engage with it, you know what it is. You do your bit, you turn in your draft or drafts, as I did. So there you go, right there, draft or drafts. So it's a possibility that he wrote more than one's script for this film. So he probably, I want to say he probably wrote more than one. I would put money on that he definitely wrote more than one. And as I did, and then the system moves on. He tells me later, I fully expect that substantial amounts of what I did will be in the movie. Who knows? But that's the expectation. So not really giving you too much, giving you a little bit to go off of. But Stephen Knight did part ways with Lucasfilm, and he is no longer affiliated with the Ray project. So I don't think this. I know. I know there's some guys out there that are like, okay, like what are you really telling me right here? Honestly, this is just reaffirms my my stance that Kathleen Kennedy and the people at Lucasfilm, they can never like settle on someone. They are always flipping through people. Like we're definitely going to see whoever's taking control of I think I know we covered it, Keely, before, but I can't remember who's writing it for it right now.
Oh, what's his name? Simon Kinberg.
Simon
Pretty sure
Kinberg,
he-
thank you. Yes, yes, you're right. That was the last one that was reported on working on it. Yeah, let's see how long he lasts. And what the credentials of Simon Kinberg, I can't even remember what that motherfucker worked on.
Pretty much just mediocre and bad movies and mediocre shows. Pretty much that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, sounds about
It's
right.
like, it's like God. One thing I've
Yeah,
noticed about like Disney Lucasfilm is their inability to like have any loyalty to good writers. They just churn them, throw them out. Like you can have a writer do multiple different things, but they just don't settle with good ones. They grab whatever they need and throw them out once they're done. There's no like loyalty to the company or anything. It's terrible business. Like, how do you run a business like that? There's no respect or anything. It's ugh, so
no, yeah,
bad.
no loyal. It's awful. Really. No loyalty to the company. That's exactly like I share that sentiment. Nobody that comes to work into one of these projects that Lucasfilm is trying to put together should have loyalty to them. They chew up and spit out anyone at this point. Just basically like want to say crabs in a barrel at this point over at Lucasfilm. Whoever can make something stick, whoever can get something to work is basically what they're looking for. They had to cancel The Acolyte, Leslie Headland. That didn't make any headway. We all saw how that happened. No matter how badly everybody wants to make the argument or they want to cry about the renew The Acolyte for season 2, it is not going to happen. There's not going to be a season 2. That show was an absolute shit show, and the only kind of viewership that was available for that show was because everybody wanted to hate watch it on how bad it was. So that's definitely a problem that Lucasfilm has. They just want to have something that sticks. And I know we
I
sorry,
just
go
wanted
ahead.
to address the backseaters comment that is Filoni's the only Lucasfilm writer with any job security there.
That
First
was
of all,
exactly I was about to
calling him
go
a
on to
writer is a bit of a stretch at this point. I don't think he
that. It
has any
is.
of the qualities you need.
Yes.
As far as the reason he's there, it's pretty obvious. Pretty much all he does, right, is he's his whole thing, and he's always been like this. Essentially, he'll just he'll appeal to the whole appeal to authority thing. But essentially, he becomes extremely good friends, and then kind of I would say with how he did it with George was he like preyed on George's kind of insecurities as like a creator. The fact that a lot of George's like childish kind of tism things that he has, like there are certain things that like most writers, like I'm pretty sure the people when he was making the original trilogy, they weren't particularly keen on a lot of things and they shut them down pretty quickly. Whereas
Yes.
Filoni would be like, "Yeah, that's good, George," and he would encourage that. And George never had that in any time when he was making stuff, and so with that and because of that, he trusted Filoni, and there you go. There's the whole reason why TCW went the way it did. But then with KK, obviously, he'll just appeal to authority as like a fucking sequel trilogy, all this kind of stuff, all this women empowerment. I don't think he really cares. Does he have any politics that fit along with it? Probably. But I don't think that's like the most important thing to him. Because I bet you, if Filoni was working for an uber conservative person, he'd bullshit too, because all he wants is to do what he wants to do. That's all
Yeah.
he's ever wanted.
Yeah,
So
I believe
he'll bullshit.
that.
None of it's real.
He
Everything he does is about himself, no one else.
Yeah.
He has no integrity. He'll sacrifice everything just to do what he wants.
No,
So, yeah,
Filoni is
that's the
definitely
reason.
he's definitely a corporate chameleon when it comes to Lucasfilm, I feel, with given the power change and the amount of creativity and the protection and job security, like Backseater said, that he has established over there. And I was just exactly how Keeley just said it. He's still also writing off of his days of making TCW, exactly Backseater. Yeah, TCW was one of the things that secured Filoni's position in Lucasfilm for the future, because Bad Batch,
Yeah.
that was a thing that he
Yeah,
put
bad bitch.
Tales Tales of the Empire, the stuff that Rebels, of course, who could forget Rebels, but definitely Filoni has done enough work for the backbone of the transition from OG Lucasfilm to now Disney run Lucasfilm, and he will survive. He will definitely be able to survive anything that comes into the future. Clearly, for a prime example, he's getting that Ahsoka season 2 that he really clamored for, and I don't think there's gonna be too much promise in it. I think as bad as Ahsoka season 1 was, for those that did watch it and tolerated it, you know it was bad. I know it was bad. It was just pure horseshit. I think season 2 is gonna be even worse of a clusterfuck. Personally,
Oh
me,
god.
they're gonna he's gonna try to
All right. So the whole thing,
jam
I think,
pack
what he's
so
going to
much
do.
shit into that.
Yeah. It's going to be all the Force God stuff, but the problem is the kind of idea, like if you're going off the TCW kind of stuff, that whole kind of idea needs to be very specific, and it needs to be. Look, there's a lot you actually need to do to make sure that that doesn't go out of control. He has none of this as a writer. I'm surprised that the TCW version was as like put together, like I won't say well put together, but at least it was put together in a way that isn't obscenely destructive. It's just bad. But like if the way Filoni goes with everything he does, like he's just going to create another massive fucking hole. It's like the World Between Worlds, like world building damage. It's going to be another one of those.
Right.
It's going to be great.
No, yeah, TCW was malleable enough as like a show that was like it could stand on its own, like
I disagree with
whether
that
or not
take. I don't think it can.
not
It's too
not
weak.
stand on no not you fucking you motherfucker. Not stand you got me there. Someone should clip that. Not stand on its own like it could stand as a coherent Star Wars show, but like it stands like as like a body of work for him to stand on, basically. Like it's a body of
Yeah,
work that he can like look, I did this, Clone Wars, I did that. And everybody that's on the surface level can look at it and be like, "Oh, the Clone Wars guy," like like he did that, thing, That's how I look at it, at least.
yeah, kind of similar. All it
Yeah,
does, and what's even funnier is he never wrote any of that. And like you see all the stuff he's writing and how bad it is. The TCW stuff's more or less the writing is restricted by two main things. That being Filoni's fucking absolute despisal of fucking nuance and depth in any story, and the black and white, and as well as things have to be completely black and white. No, like kind of this could be like this or whatever. It's just nope, it's black and white, good, bad kind of stuff. It's terrible in that sense. Then the other reason why it sucks is because he can't direct people. He just and everything he does feels so like
right.
rushed. Like there is just it doesn't fit together within of itself, and like Rebels surprisingly does. Which there's a few channels that have talked about this, but I feel like because of the way Filoni works, he just wants to do what he wants to do, and I feel like with TCW, it's kind of just like a push and pull kind of thing. Like because he'd get the writers to do all the fucking work while he would just come and go,
Of
I
course.
want to do this. I want to do this. I want to have this or whatever. That's what he would do, and it's bullshit. Imagine having to work with a cunt like that. It'd be miserable. And yeah, and like the whole so he could retcon whatever he wanted whenever he felt like it. Yeah, it's like finally got away with what he did because of the TV show. The reason he got away with it more or less was because George was kind of my opinion on this is I feel like George was this is like I don't want to say fine with it, but I think he just at that point he was I won't say he didn't care. I don't think that's true either. I feel like he trusted Filoni to create something, and like with all the bullshitting and the cock gobbling Filoni was giving George at this time to make George like him, but it's all fake. I guarantee you,
Right.
it's all just performative because that's all Filoni does. But
And I was
it's
gonna
like
say too, mate, like
uh,
is Filoni the one that's like like is he an animator himself? Like does he have like the skill of
yes,
like
he does. He
animation?
does have that, but he's too. I think he does, but he's too lazy to do like the actual animation. He'll do sketch art of it, and that's something he's
Uh-huh.
actually decently good at. I've seen a few of
So
them. That's pretty
he
decent.
is
It's like
would you
yeah,
then would you say that he's the one that came up with the animation style for the Clone
for the
Wars,
show.
Rebels,
Ooh, this
etc.?
one's a hard one because I kind of get like the feeling that it's kind of a mixed match of it's kind of like a 3D-ish version of the prior animated series, which was
Right.
what it was intended to be from what I can figure out. So yeah, it's this weird kind of amalgamation of a variety of things, and I think that's because the original decision was for a continuation of the prior Clone Wars, but then obviously it's debatable. I'd argue that it probably was George's responsibility at the end of the day with what he did and the Ahsoka character in general and all these additions that don't fit with the prior material.
Right.
But yeah, there's that whole kind of thing as well where it's just like the start of it is a lot more murky, but pretty much after the first 2 seasons, it's first 2 or 3 seasons, that's where George's involvement kind of cuts off, and you can see the Filoni growth, I guess, in terms of like destructive, dumb bullshit and stuff. Like, yeah, that's kind of my opinion on it anyway.
Yeah, so Backseater, I did know that he worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender. I did know that. Was he an animator on that show as well?
I'd actually have to check. All I know is that he did tons of sketch art, and that was like one thing, and that's probably the best of his. That's the only skill set he has. He can do decent sketch art. That's it.
We're basically trying to break down exactly what skill does Dave Filoni have, because
that's it. That's it.
It's not writing. It's not writing. That's for damn sure.
It's not writing. It's not characters. It's not world building. It's sketch
Keely's
art.
favorite thing. One of Keely's favorite things. He's horrible at nuance. That's definitely not in his bag.
Every single thing and every single piece of his work kind of just destroys any. All right, I'll give you the first example. All right, inhibitor chips. You know how I told you guys about how I would do them if I was to do that, you know, with the whole thing where it's like more of a fail safe than like an actual thing.
Yeah, I remember you telling
that idea allows nuanced opinion, nuanced views. You could have clone troopers who pretend as if that was the reason, but it's really masking the fact that they did it themselves out of their own will. Stuff like that, like things that actually demand character exploration and depth and all that kind of stuff. Filoni's one is literally just chip switch. There you go. You kill them. No, there's no moral dilemmas or anything that the clones have to deal with. They are good guys or whatever. There's nothing. There's no depth to it at all. Nothing. No nuance. No nothing. And that's something I really hate, because the thing about nuance and depth is it breeds new stories and it gives life to characters. And
it does.
Fucking hell. What was that arc that everyone clamors on about that they really like? The Umbara arc. That one.
Yeah, the Umbara arc with General Krell.
That one. So yeah, Pong Krell or whatever. The first 2 episodes of that, I wouldn't describe them as like peak Star Wars, but I think they are building up to something that could be considered good. The third one, essentially, when Pong Krell reveals himself to have seen the Order 66 coming and is an apprentice of Dooku, just destroys any value of that story.
Yeah, Krell knew on way more than he should, honestly. Like for someone who had to still prove themselves to the Separatist movement and Count Dooku, Krell knew too much.
Yeah, and not just that, but the fact that you have Pong Krell, he just reveals himself as a villain. All nuance and depth is lost, because if it was just Pong Krell, who's kind of a shitty general and does some pretty questionable decisions and may even have some sentiments towards the clones that aren't particularly nice.
Yeah.
When Rex goes up behind him, like goes to arrest him or whatever, he has to make the decision whether this guy is a traitor or not, and what he does there actually benefits the character and tells us a lot about the character, like who he is. Is he going to try and kill this Jedi for what he did, or is he going to really struggle with this decision?
Right.
And that gives us so much into that character. That would be perfect. No, he just goes, haha, I am a villain this whole time, or whatever.
And they kind of spell it out for you, like meanwhile, not really much of a build up with the whole like the banter between the clones and them saying like, oh, his clone battalions don't ever last that long. They always like get fucking extreme casualties, or like he treats clones bad. Like they're kind of just putting the writing on the wall. They just has it out for these clone soldiers. And when it's revealed that like, oh, like we're killing ourselves, we're shooting ourselves, like why would he make us shoot himself? Like he hates you motherfuckers, bro. Like it's kind of was already set up that way.
And the thing is with that whole thing, that scene could have been perfect. One reason why is instead of having it that he's just out for their lives at this point, like you obviously have that as like a supporting kind of notion in the show. But what I would do is I'd have that incident be completely accidental. He did not mean to do that. He just sucks as a general, as most Jedis did.
Right.
And that this whole situation, like say the clones were, the Umbarans were taking clone armor and using that, but say it was in a completely different area or whatever. and then these clones go up and they murder each other, and it's like it's out of his incompetence rather than malice in this case. But obviously, he still like has some malice towards the clones in this situation because the
Yeah,
character is.
don't give us your full, don't show us your full hand. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
that's
hold the cards closer to
the
your
comments
chest
that
for
the
good
Battle of
God's
Umbara
sakes.
is just a poor man's Jabim is so fucking telling, and it's like it never had to be. You could literally give it a couple rewrites, like simple stuff, and it's actually I'd give it a pretty high rating, probably an 8. Like
You're
it's
right.
not that hard. It's not that it was never that hard. Oh god! Like every time I'm still on the rewatch. I had to fucking. I was trying to pirate the 6th season on the high seas. I'm admitting to crime on the internet. That's great.
Oh,
But
hey man, I'll DM you a link to something. Maybe I can hook you up and you can.
yeah, but I ended up seeing because I got gifted it for my birthday, which was recently, which was absolutely terrible. I got absolutely pissed drunk and was sick the next 2 days.
Oh well, happy late birthday to you, mate.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I got
Kids twitted my fucking tipples.
my favorite image of this past like 10 years has been that stupid fucking tipples.
Yeah,
meme.
guys, everybody in the chat, man, if you can put a happy birthday for Keely, man. Wish him a
Yeah,
happy
but
birthday.
yeah, a lot of alcohol consumption. It was crazy. I do not remember anything. Usually I remember stuff, but I got so absolutely hammered. It was oh god.
Nice.
Yeah, one of my mates gifted me some very nice. Actually no, there's one right next to me. It was these like smaller bottles of like Jack Daniels and a variety of other alcoholic beverages.
Oh,
Good
the
stuff.
variety pack.
Yeah, it was like these little small ones, and they're very nice. And I chugged them down like a fucking boss. I've got one left, and it's sitting up here because I was planning on having it tonight, but I might not have it because
Very
it's
nice.
still a bit iffy about what happened with all the drinks. But yeah, I also got gifted a Tuscan Raider Brickheads, so that was
Oh,
nice.
the Lego.
The Lego ones, yeah.
You know what?
I congratulated my mate Mitch he handed it to me. I opened it. I was like, oh, it's a sand Muslim, and he laughed his fucking ass off. But yeah, like the whole what was I talking about? The whole like nuance thing of poor man's Jabib. It's not. There's so many decisions that could be made, and also I think one thing that is really odd is the fact that apparently with the dialogue said in the earlier episodes, this is kind of it suggests that his behavior existed prior to Umbara, whereas the like whole I've been a bad guy for however long seems to be quite recent, and that's where it's
Right.
also really out of left field in a sense. That's really odd, and it's kind of goes to show how disconnected this show actually is within of itself. Like, never mind the EU and all that. Like, within of itself, it doesn't even connect well.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
like,
Because if I was at one of the other Jedi
and
Masters or
whose job
something,
is that?
and, exactly. If I was one of the other Jedi Masters and I was seeing the track record of this motherfucker Krell, I'd be like, General, like you need to come to talk to the council for a minute, because why the fuck are all your clones dying and you're a fucking Jedi? Matt, you're a Jedi. I want to assume he was a rank Jedi Master, and
Yeah,
why
it
is a
was
Jedi?
Master.
Yeah, why is a Jedi Master's fucking battalions all getting wiped out so easily? Clearly, you're making horrible military decisions. You need to either go back to the drawing
Of
board or
course,
have somebody with you.
of course, the argument that that could technically happen because the Jedi were never good generals, and that's kind of a point of the whole pre-TCW Order 66 kind of thing.
Yeah,
where they're kind of using that as an excuse or whatever. But I feel like I feel like if you could write in a way where you could get away with that and all that kind of stuff. But with his one in particular, I think you do need a little bit of effort in writing put into like be like, hey, this guy's kind of fucked, and maybe have it so that that emergency transfer that obviously from Anakin to Ponkrell or whatever, have that be like kind of like a emergency decision because perhaps like there's like no other Jedi left at this point to like share around or whatever. So they have to take fucking Krell and throw him out that, even though they've been monitoring him for his actions or whatever at this point or whatever. And then you can have that, and then all this comes to your crescendo. You have that moment where Rex decides whether or not he'll kill them for being a traitor or doesn't do it or whatever.
It
But then
was Rex. It was Rex. Not to cut you off, but it was Rex and the 501st that got put under his command, right?
yeah, 501st and him,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
It was taking over from prior. I think they've already landed on the planet and are already fighting at this point. So I think it was like a middle of the war kind of military decision or whatever.
Got
It was
you.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Just one of
Uh,
those things that makes a good little episode arc for Filoni's little baby.
Yeah, it's like God. It's not that hard. Like God, like every single time I watch this show and like watch this show like within this time period that I'm doing because I'm looking at all of the episodes and I needed to back to my point of why I was talking about my birthday because I got a gift card right
There
from
we
the
go.
Xbox, like an Xbox gift card. The problem is my Xbox is fucking ancient and I don't want to use it because it's kind of shit. So I kind of just used it as like a Microsoft reward points thingo. So then I went
Oh,
ahead
okay.
and there was nothing to buy because I don't have anything to buy on the Xbox, nor do I want anything on Microsoft. So I just went ahead and bought the 6th season off there. And now I have it there. So maybe I can use that for clips or whatever. I don't know. I'll
Ooh,
probably cut it apart.
you're gonna get clipped. You spent money on the Clone Wars.
Yeah, womp womp. I need to get rid of that shit. Boo womp. I
Oh,
spent
yeah.
money on garbage. If John can buy Outlaws and play it for however long he can, I can buy fucking one season of Clone Wars
John
because I can't
Getz
get it on
actually
my
spent
fucking
money on
pirated-
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, because I have the old like Clone Wars DVDs because
Right.
the 6th season never released on DVD. It was only for Netflix, I believe. So yeah, I
Yeah.
had to pirate that, and then the pirating website that I was using wasn't working at the time because something happened to it. I have no clue. Probably got shut down. But yeah, and then I was just like, well, I got this convenient gift card. Might as well fucking use it on something. So I just used it all up, and there you go. Yeah,
Right on, man. Right
peak
on. Good
investment.
Good use of it. I like it.
Yeah, because I was
real
never going to use it otherwise. It would just sit there.
well, yeah. What you said your Xbox is ancient. What's the last generation of Xbox you have?
I just have the Xbox fucking not the it was like Xbox One S or whatever, but it's like it was like probably one of the first few of them made, like the first lot of them
got
made.
you. Got you.
It is pretty much anything that isn't anything that's online, don't even bother. Terrible. Can't use it. If it's
Nice.
offline and it's low storage, it runs okay. Anything above that, yeah, it's just misery.
Don't even
So
bother.
that's why I have my gaming PC, which I just do everything from now because it's so useful and versatile.
Right
So, yeah,
on.
that's good.
Yeah, I got to go to the PC route. Real quick in the chat, just want to address, man. We got Vex in here. What's up, gentlemen? What's up, Vex? Always good to see you, man. We had the backseater. Always good to see you, backseater. He's been in here. New York, Florida, man. Good to see you in here, sir. Good to see you. Thank you. Always happy to see you guys in the chat. Vex said, "Why did Anakin have to leave mid-battle? That was pretty random and contrived."
Oh god, the problem here is they don't really explain it well. Like from what I remember, it's like he's been called to some other like kind of thing, which I'm pretty sure they try and link it to Palpatine. Which, if it was like kind of behind the scenes kind of thing, like not like behind the scenes of the actual creation of the show, but like a behind the scenes thing Palpatine's actually doing, trying to move Anakin for whatever reason or whatever.
Yeah, he's trying to move him away from Obi-Wan and the other Jedi.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Because Obi-Wan's also on this planet, mind you, because the 212th is also here. So yeah, that kind of decision, like that makes sense. But they don't really do it in that way. They kind of just randomly call him off. They insinuate that it's something like that, but they don't go far enough, and they don't give like one line of expositionary dialogue. As much as I hate that, would probably have saved it from this criticism, but they don't have that at all. So it kind of just. No one knows.
Oh no! Everybody was asking about what happened to Darth Paz. I was telling them nobody knows.
He just
no one
died. Oh well.
No one has
apparently
any idea.
I'm the captain of a pirate ship. Yar ho, fiddle-dee-dee. Yes.
You might be, man. You might be.
God. And like people constantly say, oh, that arc is great. It's really not. Could it have been? Sure, but it's not. And Because I remember, I'm pretty sure there was an EFAP highlight video. You were in the comments section. I saw you quite a lot. And it was the one where Theo was talking about how the Clone Wars is outrageously awful.
Oh
And all the
yeah.
people that were cock gobbling the show.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah.
I
Like,
definitely
yeah.
shared
I
a few
was
thoughts
arguing
on
with
that
quite
one.
a few of them, yeah. It's like, yeah. And they kept on going on about that arc, and I'm like I understand where like the like of it goes, because there is like decent work put into certain things, and there are there's some like bits of like writing of certain things that aren't terrible, but it kind of all falls apart at the end because of the Pong Krell reveal, which is just terrible. It's oh god.
It's pretty
But like
bad.
people are just, I feel like it's a lot of nostalgia for some of the younger people. That's fine and all, but like my goal here is to like get past that nostalgia goggles kind of thing, and actually just point out the problems with it. I don't care if they enjoy it. My problem is if they consider it good, because it's not. That's always been my problem with it. Because everything of pre-Disney Star Wars I consider to have at least some value.
Right.
That's pretty much my take. Even the stuff I despise, like even Dark Empire, probably has some value. Like it's, you know, there's all these different things, and like everything I consider pre-Disney to have at least some value. Even The Force Unleashed, which I despise to the point where like I get actually mad at some people who absolutely cock gobble that slop up as well. Because yeah, we have quite a few Force Unleashed enjoyers around here in the
You
EU
know,
kind of
we
space.
we have discussed it. I enjoy
Yeah.
it for the gameplay. It is good.
I hate all of it.
It's some nice little. It was at the time of the 360, mind you. It came out in the era of 360 and PS3, and this was the era of God of War button mashing. Star Wars Force Unleashed is definitely a God of War, Star Wars esque game. And for at the time when it came out, sure, was I enthralled by it? Sure. Did I care about the plot? Not too much, but it was fun. I had loads of
Yeah, and
fun when
also
it
not
came
to
out.
mention it has one thing that I like to. Yeah, I hate the Force Unleashed. I hated it when it released. I thought it was
Oh
terrible
yeah,
because it
get him
messed with my.
backseater. Get him backseater.
You're gonna set me off. Just don't. Just no. Also, I like Vex's comment where he's like, "Oh, you praised Dark Empire a little. How nice of you."
You know,
Yeah,
I enjoy I have the full like run of the comic book
I
for
have
Dark
the comic
Empire.
one too. Yeah,
Yeah, I have issues
well, had it.
1 through 6, and the art style for those is beautiful, gorgeous. I enjoy like the little bit of like the dark side Luke Skywalker that you get from that series, and I like it. Tom Vike or Tom Vitch, however you
Veach.
say his name. Yeah,
I don't
Vitch.
know his name.
Tom Veach and Cam Kennedy. They could have done a lot worse, but given what they put together, I thought it was pretty decent. The art is outstanding. I like it.
Yeah,
Dark Empire is
I
epic,
didn't
brah.
mind the art. I just there's some shit designs that I think are kind of bad. But besides that, there's like what's that massive fucking Death Star laser ship, the Eclipse? I like how it looks, but I don't like the fact that it's just a Death Star laser ship cannon thing. But it's still better than whatever the Rise of Skywalker was trying to do with a fucking how many ships do they have? It was like 100,000 like fucking Star Destroyers with planet obliterating penis guns
Oh,
or
at the
whatever.
end
It's
of
so
Rise of
bad.
Skywalker. Yeah.
Oh god.
One of the
Like
laziest plot points that they
it's
came
like
up with.
what yeah, like still it still amazes me that they out of everything they could have done, they went to the worst, like one of the like least more controversial, least liked fucking pre-Disney Star Wars stories, which was Dark Empire, and they're like, yeah, we should put this in a third film in our trilogy. That's
At the
not gonna
very
work.
end and explain nothing.
We Snoke clones, bot Snoke clones.
What's up, George? How's it going, man?
Oh, hey, Lucas. Disney Star Wars, there's no value or anything. Pretty much, yeah. There's nothing. There's no like intrinsic value or anything. It's all just nothing.
Well, look
like,
where
I don't
it's
know
at.
how.
Look where it's at, mate. We were just saying like how there's not a whole lot going on. The Ray film is still in fucking writer limbo, quote unquote. The only thing that they got to look forward to, or if anyone gives a fuck, is Andor season 2 and then Ahsoka season 2. I think those are the only two things. But Ahsoka season 2 is not going to come out for a while. I'm pretty sure that's still being shot if anything.
Yeah, like what else is didn't like back when like Star Wars media was actually like good, like prior Disney Lucasfilm, probably prior 2008. Like I'm pretty sure like the quantity of stuff that was actually being released was quite high, and everything tied in, everything did all that
Yes.
really well. I don't understand how you could go from that to Disney Star Wars absolutely fumbling their main key thing, which is Battle of Jakku, which is the thing they're trying. That's the main part of their new canon, that new thing, right?
Yeah, according to
Oh,
like their lore and canon line,
their
that's
lord,
like
yeah,
their
that
Pearl
is an
Harbor.
important that is an important, extremely important battle because it's the final last stand of the Empire or something. So that needs to be done really well, except it's done horribly and horrifically, and it doesn't make sense. Literally, all the books contradict each other. I think the one, and then obviously you have, because they try to tie it in on almost everything. Battlefront 2's campaign, the EA one, tied into it.
Yeah.
The devs and the writing team on that were not given the information prior, like the lore stuff. They were not informed about any of this. Prior to that, if it was at pre-Disney Lucasfilm, all that stuff would be done. You'd have people there to do that. Where did they all go? Were they just like let off or something? Like, what are they doing? Or did they just? Because Pablo Hidalgo's still there. Why isn't he doing any of this? You know, it's like what happened?
It's a mystery. It's an illusion.
I'm kind
It's
of leaning towards the fact that Filoni happened. Like he just that like kind of as soon as everyone like the TCW writers, the majority of them left. Like after season 6 released, they kind of just fucked off, never returned. So yeah, it's like okay, so the people that were trying to tug Filoni and stop him from whatever, they didn't really succeed because Filoni's ideas are so destructive. They get through any sort of semblance of good writing. But like once they were gone, it was basically free reign for Filoni. Like there's no one to even try to touch him. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. It's,
Clip it.
yeah. What? God. Oh no, that's terrible. God, freaky Phil. What Filoni gets up to in his spare time is something I really wish not to know. Like if like I think there was a kind of what was it? It was there was like one of those Twitter posts where they go, oh, if you had the ability to know everything and everything about everything in the world or whatever, what's one thing you wouldn't want to know about? And I feel like that would be my response. I don't want to know about that.
Yeah, I would not want to know. I would not
God.
want. You know what? I don't even want to know what I don't want to know.
Yeah, fair enough. I remember someone on there was some old like forum or whatever where people were talking about. There was apparently a TCW animator that said the arse shot of Ahsoka in one of the Slaver arc episodes was Filoni's decision, which is really fucking creepy.
Right.
But yeah, that was a while ago, and obviously
that's very questionable.
That shot is in the show, and the Slaver arc is terrible.
You wrote down that timestamp?
What in the Slaver arc?
No, yeah, I said you have it written down for yourself.
Well, oh no! Why do I even bother?
Your work here is finished, my friend.
Yeah, I'm fucking off. See ya.
That was pretty good.
What else?
Vex said, "Do you think Disney Star Wars has completely lost their normie audience yet, as in the general public?" I definitely think it's hanging on by a fucking thread. The shills are there, of course. The Disney adults, the shills like the BB-8 backpack wearers, they're in for the long haul. They're loving it. But the normies, I definitely think that's like hanging on by a thread, as I said.
All right, so I think there's two groups here. There's when I think of normie. The first is like just a person who just enjoys watching the films, like just a Star Wars normie. Who could this be referencing? But God. But that group of people.
I know all 6 films.
God, you can do his voice pretty well. That's kind of terrifying.
I know all 6 films.
Yeah, but like that group of people, basically gone. There's nothing left in it for them The other audience is just the people that watch Star Wars films because they're Star Wars and they come out there like a popular thing. They are still there.
Yeah.
They're most definitely still there. Like, I know tons of people that would just go to see it because, oh, it's a Star Wars movie. They're like big things. They go see them pretty much. Those kind of people will still go because that's just how everything goes with these people. They just go watch it. They don't care if it's good or bad. They don't have good tastes. They're the most simple people you could ever meet. They will go and see the Mando movie. A lot of women will also probably go to see it, like the wives of these people or whatever. They'll go to see it because cute animal Baby Yoda thing. It's cute. I want to see that. It's cute. It'll do cute things. There you go. That's the only audience that got left.
I love. I'm so glad that you said that because in every single thing that Disney Star Wars has put out, they've been having like the one cute thing that's always like in the main cast or like hitting the screen that multiple times to get that like aw factor. In Force Awakens, it was BB-8, of course, and then in The Last Jedi, it was the Porgs from that island that Jake Skywalker was stuck on, and then Rise of Skywalker, it was Babu Frick, Mandalorian, yeah.
God, I want to stab that thing with a lightsaber, bro.
Just multiple shanking. You're shanking the little fuck in the corner of the Millennium Falcon. How dare you stand where you stood? But and then in Mandalorian, of course, we had Grogu, the child. That was the little like I have one of my best friends, one of my best mates. His woman can't get enough of that little fucker. She has like a coffee mug. She has a backpack. She has a wallet, and it's all with the little Grogu, little Yoda, little baby Yoda fucker, like everywhere.
It appeals.
Like,
it appeals
they love
to,
it.
Yeah, because it appeals to women's motherly nature, and that's like whenever I see people like, oh, this woman is a gap or whatever. Like I saw people like, oh, Anna the Star Wars girl likes fucking Baby Yoda. Of course she does, because it is within women's like as mothers and caretakers of children. They will find those things a lot more cuter, and they will like them. They may hate the show itself, but they'll still like those things quite a lot. It's just their nature. It's just how that goes. It's also
I like ingrained in them.
Yes, it is. That's just nature. Who cares? That's just women. That's like men nature. We do stupid shit when we're like from the ages of like however old to like 25.
Yeah, then man. We want to have our lightsaber duels on the trampoline and pretend we have the fucking force jump and
like I still see dudes come out of the like what do you call it, like the sliding doors and go move their hands like they're using the force. It's just like men.
I still do that,
I did so often when I was younger.
Mate, I still do it. I'm 30 years old and I still do it. Fuck me. Come on. No, but definitely, Vex, thank you for the question. That was a great question, Vex. Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up because that's definitely something that like it bakes in my brain.
Also, the whole kind of mascot thing, one thing I'd like to bring up is they do it in the games as well. What was Star Wars Outlaws' little goober creature, Nyx or whatever it was called? I
have no clue.
There you go. The only time they've actually done a goober creature that has any semblance of value was the stupid droid in Jedi Fallen Order. That
I was just about to say like ED1 or I think it was like
BD1. I think that's what it's called.
There you go. Yeah.
The only reason I have any semblance of value because it actually benefits the character. And it's like the problem with the whole Force Unleashed, God, the Jedi Fallen Order or that series of games is the fact that it's intertwined with the Disney canon and therefore everything that is good, that effort has been put into, gets pulled down. So I just don't care. Like I couldn't care less. It has the dumb Inquisitors. I couldn't care less. Like I mean, because like if you just Item Versio had the small thing like Jorge Lucas is saying, the little, and also it was called Dio, which in Rise of Skywalker there was a little robot called Dio, voiced by J.J. Abrams, because of course he was. And it was like, the weird shape or whatever. And that was also had the same name, so people were like, what the fuck? Because
that's so funny you say that about the droid being voiced by J.J. Abrams. Fucking Chopper in Rebels was voiced by Filoni's
droid.
Yeah, Filoni voiced that shit. I had no idea. I think I Googled that. Like, I think you and me were talking or you, me, and Neurodark were talking in our chat, and I think I like looked it up, and I was like, no fucking shit, no way, that's crazy.
Yeah, he voices that, and he voices the Embo character from TCW, and he has a couple other voices that are important in that show as well. I thought he also voices some other goober creature in Rebels. I can't remember which one. He's like he's
Let
a
me
fucking
look. Let me look it
he's a
up.
fucking man child. He's like, oh god, look, I get to play the characters. Oh my god, fucking hell! And he doesn't even bother to have them do anything. God. Yeah,
Let me see
as your
where.
response there, Vex. Yeah, not average like general pop culture. No one cares. It's done.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no one cares about Star Wars anymore. And like I say that as like the blanket of how it was brought up earlier for like the normie audience. Um Star Wars is not at the forefront of like geekdom, uh conventions, Comic-Cons, stuff like that. Like no one cares. I think what fuck me, dude. There was a poll that was done. I want to say because I was watching it the other day. I was watching either Nerdrotic or Friday Night Tights from the Geeks and Gamers. Somebody put a poll out there, and they were trying to gather like what were you excited to like maybe see. Star Wars is like polling is like dead last for everything. No one
Yeah, because
like go ahead.
the damage has been done. It's just there's nothing really you can do to save it at this point. Like I've always said that if Disney really wanted to save it, their chance was Mando season 2. It had the goodwill of the normie audience. It had the goodwill of a lot of fans. Not me personally. I think it's garbage.
Yeah,
and trash.
I was gonna say
Yes.
not me personally either. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that like it had that, and if they wanted to, if they really wanted to save Star Wars or try to, that was their last chance. They fumbled it with season 3 because that got the normies off because they were like, "Oh, this is trash. What the fuck." And then it also got just the
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
last like, inch of hope that some fans had destroyed instantly, and then
Like,
everything else on top of that was just all the Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, all that slop. Because Mando was the last thing that like actually had any pop culture relevance.
yeah,
Because
like
well,
yeah, people were on board with the Mandalorian ship, you know what I mean? Like everybody was getting onto it. Everyone loved the theme song. Everyone was I say everyone, not excluding myself, because when I saw Mandalorian, I was like, what is this shit? What is this fake Boba Fett
yeah,
shit?
because my first reaction to watching that show was because I sat down because people were like, "Oh my god, it's good Star Wars. You might want to have a look at this." And I was like, "All right, let's have a look. It's Disney Star Wars, so it's going to be us, but I'll watch it anyway." I sat there in the first episode and I was like, "Okay, so we'll see how this goes." The first episode does decent in terms of like one or two things, and that's like basically Filoni level things, like simple
Yeah.
get character out, get character to do thing, it does thing, sets up next thing. The next episode and after that, it was kind of just, yeah, this is fetch quest bullshit that doesn't matter. It has no inherent story, no inherent meaning. It's slop. All right, bye. That was my reaction.
Yeah, well, I remember watching the first episode of Mandalorian, and as soon as like it was like what the first like 5 minutes of him like capturing the bounty, taking it to the ship, and yeah, like everything that was going on in the first episode, I just remember watching it, and I was just like, man, why is this not Boba Fett? Why is this not Boba?
Yeah, because the thing about that, right, Decrepit, is Boba is a character that was an original character was not an original character. It's from the prior pre-Disney Lucasfilm, and therefore he has no value. They need to replace him with something more Disney friendly, which is the Mandalorian. He's just a knockoff Boba Fett, and they actually don't bother to do things with what you would do with a character like Mando if he had a character, which he doesn't. But there's the little nuggets of things that you could kind of tie to him as a character. They don't even do anything with them. It's all thrown out of the way for whatever fucking reason. So there's no people. There are people that say Mando is their favorite Star Wars character. How? There isn't anything there. Like, God.
No, it's lackluster, bland, no flavor, no soul, no creativity. And
Nothing.
exactly, Vex. Yeah, thankfully the popularity of Star Wars doesn't affect our enjoyment of the original good shit. Exactly. Like just for example, like this earlier in this week. I'm recovering from having a nasty head cold and some just like sinus infection shit going on with me. So you could probably tell in my voice I'm just a little bit on recovery end right now, on the mend, if you will. But I did give a rewatch to the OG trilogy just because I wanted to feel something. You know, I watched original Star Wars, then Empire and Return of the Jedi, and I was just like, man, bittersweet too when you watch it, because you're just like, fuck, what could have been, what could have been, what could have happened, what we could have been given, what we could be digesting as Star Wars fans in the long run, if and only if. But that's all we're gonna be able to say
Yeah,
is
and you know
shoulda,
that
coulda,
kind of
woulda.
feeling, like that kind of feeling where it's like, I really wish Star Wars got better. Like, not under Disney, of course, because I don't think they deserved at this point. They don't deserve any redemption. They
Yeah,
had their chance and they fucking got rid of it. They threw everything, any goodwill we had, back in their face so they can get fucked. But it's like, if it was to come back, the problem is like I've said in my How to Save Star Wars videos, it's almost impossible. Because the damage has been so severe. Because essentially, the average like normie Star Wars fan, so like watches the films, right? They are done. They don't even, they can barely watch the original films now. They don't even watch them anymore. It's done for them. There's like, everything's just this. They can't even enjoy those films. Like, obviously we here separated from like Disney styles from
oh
the
yeah, of course.
Disney Star Wars. But those people, which are the vast majority of, I'd say probably the vast majority of Star Wars fans as a whole, like people who like Star Wars, they don't care. That they're done. Everything's been damaged for them. And if you were to go in with an Old Republic trilogy or whatever, it would fail. You know why? Because they don't feel Star Wars anymore. They don't know. They don't remember what it was
Yeah.
because they refuse to watch it because it's been that damaged.
And the bad part is too, man, if we ever got anything in like the Old Republic era, I would want it to look exactly, this is just me saying it in my opinion, I would want it to look exactly how the fucking cinematic trailers and cinematic shorts from the SWOTOR rollout looked. I would want the Old Republic animation content to look exactly like that. It would have to be that upgrade, upscale, high def animation style. I don't care if it takes them 3 years to make a fucking 20-minute little short movie. I want that. I need that. Give me more of that style. But unfortunately, under the Disney umbrella, it's going to look like Clone Wars. It's going to look like Tales of the Jedi. And you know what? You could argue, like, I watched clips from Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire, didn't watch the shows in their entirety or the episodes at all, but the style of that animation, it definitely still has reminiscent looks of like the Clone Wars style, 3D style, but it's very clean. It's very clean and it's very crisp. You have to give credit where it's due as far as like a visual medium. That animation style, it looks very, very clean on like the updated status of it, but I still wouldn't go with that style. I
I
still
don't think
wouldn't
it
go
would
with that
fit that
style.
era anyway. I don't think it fits
Yeah,
that
it
era.
doesn't fit that era. No, I
There's
agree with you.
there's a specific kind of medium that I feel like the Old Republic falls into. I think there's only two ways you can do it. I think live action with some very interesting camera work and some very interesting CGI kind of stuff. There's a lot you would have to do to give it that feel.
Right.
That's one way, or the other way is, like you said, just do what it was as before, the cinematic things. That's the
You
only
know,
way you can
like,
really. You can't have it animated in the TCW animation, or really any kind of animation. You kind of have to just go with either cinematics or the tougher option, the full live action kind of thing. You know,
yeah,
that's all you can do.
and dude, like even a full like live action content of today's era, like I don't even want to reference the Disney sequel films because yeah, like a lot of the like visual shit, people say that Last Jedi is the most beautiful looking Star Wars movie ever, which I'm sorry to disagree with you there,
Yeah, I
but
disagree with that.
yeah, I'm sorry to disagree with people out there that feel that way, and cry harder, but Empire Strikes Back is to
I
me,
agree.
Empire Strikes Back is the most beautiful looking Star Wars film. The
Yeah, there's
backdrops
some,
of
there's some
Dagobah,
really great shots. Yeah,
yeah,
my
yeah, the
favorite
shots
is
on Hoth,
well,
Dagobah, Cloud
yeah.
City,
I think
of
my
course.
favorites. I think my favorite would be the Super Star Destroyer, like coming into frame shot, like where it just shows all the lights. It looks great. Like that's probably my favorite like shot of the film. Just like because
Yeah.
they do the thing which you would do is a writer. What you have is you have what the audience saw prior, the normal Star Destroyer, and then you bring in over it the massive one, and then you do a few shots, and then the massive like fully encompassing shot
Yeah.
of the ship.
Yeah,
Like
but
all that is really good. Like it's so
dude, just imagine what Revenge of the Sith would look like if George, like, if George had the patience and the time, and with given today's CGI, like we're talking like CGI that he was working with was like 2003, 2004 CGI. Imagine George having like today's technology and having a crack at Revenge of the Sith, and he would had the time that he would need to make it. I bet Revenge of the Sith would look so much
yes.
different. It would look so
And the
beautiful.
thing is, I don't think the CGI in Revenge of the Sith is particularly awful. I feel like
I don't either. I don't either.
I feel like
But
it's more or less worse with the CGI clone troopers. I think they look kind of bad in a lot of shots. But the ships, the droids, Grievous in particular, is phenomenal. There's
yes.
actually like he's how CGI people talk about like Davy Jones from
Yeah,
Pirates of the
everyone
Caribbean or whatever.
references that
He's
one,
another
yeah.
he's another one that looks perfect. Grievous looks great. The shot of his face when it like zooms
Yeah, when he
in
zooms
is
in,
really
oh yeah, you're in my head.
there
I was
is so
exactly
much
gonna say
detail.
that.
It's beyond impressive.
Gorgeous
Yeah.
shot.
But I feel like the reason the clones don't look as good is because there's a lot more difficulty in
Yeah.
animating like humanoid kind of people, and like
Even
they also don't want to waste resources on doing that because that takes up a lot of fucking time.
yeah, like they made like fuck, dude. The battle over Coruscant. I think me personally, I think that looks great. Like all the
I
ships
do too. Yeah, I
and
think it's good.
the command ships and everything, like the starfighters. I think those shots are beautiful.
Yeah, I really like them too.
Mustafar sequence. Like if you're not sitting there being dazzled by the amazing duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin, like Mustafar just looks gorgeous
Yeah.
as far as like a
The
background
actual
and
planet
a
looks
planet.
really good. However,
Yeah,
there's a few
planet
shots with the I think it's the one where they're like got the ropes and they're like swinging the lightsabers on each other. They're on this
Yeah.
giant pillar kind of thing. The pillar does look a bit awful in some shots, but for the most part, the whole scene is really good. I love the fire effects. I love the CGI, the actual building, and the design of it is really good too. There's so much good about the prequels in terms of the visual design. Like I could go on and on about it. They're very good in that regard, despite my flaws, the things I find as flaws within those films. I still will go on forever about how good their visual design is. Also, the Battle of Endor from Return of the Jedi is my favorite piece of like Star Wars media. Is like a battle. It's my favorite. It's just cool.
So you know that how I've said it before here on the channel, and I've said it to you before in private. Return of the Jedi is my personal favorite film from the OT, but my favorite shot from the OT has to be when Vader reveals himself in the carbonite freezing chamber to Luke before their duel.
Oh yes,
and like when the lights just hum and slowly dim on, and you hear the breathing, and he just says, "But you are not a Jedi yet." And like, oh, dude, what a shot! What a shot!
All right, one thing the thing about pre-Disney Star Wars. There's a lot of effort that went into things that you wouldn't expect. The carbonite freezing chamber, the orange lights. They could have went with red or a darker color. They went with orange.
Yeah.
The choice to do that is so beneficial. It molds with the smoke extremely well, which is another thing the carbonite freezing chamber has a lot of. It's a good visual kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
well.
because like the glow that it gives off to the cast.
The glow that it gives off combined with the smoke that it goes through is so fucking good. There's like the
shadowy blue background
on my shelf.
The shadowy like blue backgrounds that are in the mix
too.
Once Vader and Luke ignite their sabers for the cross before their duel starts. Oh my gosh, beautiful stuff. And what's up, John? What's up, man?
How's it going, John's bro? Here. The only person I care about in life, the only one of value, anyway. Sorry to grab it.
You're good, bro. New York, Florida, man. It was one of my favorite scenes. It was badass. It was peak fire, bro. Peak fire, bro.
It was the fire that was peak. Yes.
New York floor. I would rather watch the old VHS versions, to be honest. Watching it like that in a big square TV was magical. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a that's a debate because I have, I'm pretty sure as well as any, I have multiple copies, different versions of the OT. I have all of them on original VHS. I have them on the DVD release, of course, the special edition DVD set, and then I have the Blu-ray set and then the Steelbook Blu-rays. So I have multiple versions. And me personally, my if I'm gonna watch it on a disc, I like to watch the widescreen DVD collection version because I just feel like the way it was formatted for the screen size and the way at the time when it came out, it was very phenomenal. I have the prequels as well on the widescreen DVD set, and but I also will pop in the prequels and watch them on like a Blu-ray on 4K settings for my TV. And honestly, I think the worst one that out of the prequels, I think the worst one is of course Phantom Menace, because that was when George was like working kinks out for CGI and shit. But there are a lot of things in Phantom Menace that just look so goddamn clean, like the fucking Duel of the Fates battle in the Naboo core. Like all those scenes look just gorgeous.
Yeah, I think the main problem with the prequels one is I don't think the backgrounds, like the kind of the like Battle in Naboo kind of, it's more or less when the droids are coming over the hills. It looks very fake. But that's back when CGI was in its
Yeah,
infancy.
yeah,
So I don't.
I agree.
It's like the whole argument that the prequels are bad because more CGI is just not true. There are other flaws that I have that are reasons I consider it poor, but overall anyway. But the CGI is not the core problem at all. It's pretty impressive for like how much they managed to pack into these films with
Yeah,
that.
like you
I
can
give
look
it respect in that sense.
you can look at the droids and like pick apart things when you like
I
see
don't think the
multiple
droids are
battle.
too bad. It's more or less just the backgrounds that
Well,
aren't
it's like
really.
when you get a couple of like when you get like the multiple battle droids on screen, and we're talking like them having like a blue or like a bit of a darker background, you can kind of see the fuzziness around the edges for the droids.
Yeah,
Me
yeah, you
personally,
can as
and
well
that's
too.
like,
Yeah,
if you throw it in a Blu-ray player and you're looking at it high def, you can definitely tell. Me personally,
yeah,
like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
but
I agree.
but yeah, like Vex says, some of the special edition stuff in Star Wars and Jedi are off-putting, but Empire is flawless to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'll
Empire
definitely.
probably benefits more than it loses from the special editions. I think the addition of like updated Palpatine for the hologram is really good, and I don't mind the dialogue change they went with either. I think it still works as the prior iteration, but the new one is good as well.
Yeah, I
The
don't mind that.
yeah, the special edition change I hate the most is the stupid fucking change from Hayden Christensen to not Hayden, from the original actor to Hayden Christensen for the
Yeah,
Force Ghost. Can't stand it. It's a terrible decision, as well as probably a couple of the everything from the fucking start, the fucking Turn the Jedi, fucking goober alien scenes in the palace or whatever. God,
yeah,
they're awful.
yeah, yeah. They
Like
took it.
I feel
They
like
took
George's
away Yub
intent
Nub
was
from us.
yeah, yeah. He also took Yub Nub. One, I think George's intent with that whole kind of CGI fest at the start was to kind of like tie it in and make it feel more like the prequels were part of his original story, which I get what he's trying to do, but that is not the way to do it.
Yeah,
Oh no. I do appreciate the little additions to the background of certain shots like ships or whatever. I think that's fine.
yeah. Except it, backseater. Except it makes no sense for Anakin's Force Ghost to be from after he fell to the dark side. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I feel that, yeah, if you're watching, I've heard it from someone's mouth, of course. They say when you watch instead of release order, if you watch like chronologically 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, the payoff for the ending of Return of the Jedi, if you're watching it chronologically, they say it hits different, but yeah, like canon wise and like the way that you could say like becoming one with the Force or becoming like a Force ghost works. I just feel personally, to me personally, George put himself a little bit in the box because it was later. Or you could debate that whether or not, if you go by motherfuckers that say Clone Wars is like, and like the whole idea of like being able, like, because they break it down in Clone Wars, but you could take that with a grain of salt if you want, on how people exactly become a Force ghost, but we're not going to get into that right now. But the fact of the matter is, like, he became a Force ghost when he was an old man. Obi-Wan did, and he died an old man, came back as an old man Force ghost, so that makes sense. So of course Anakin is redeemed in the end, and he dies like a fucking like late 50s something old man. That's exactly what he should look like. He should not look
Yeah,
like
because
the young
some
Anakin
people like
Skywalker
argue that
from back in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. I heard some people argue that, oh well, he should be the prequels Anakin because that was when that was the last time he was like Anakin. But no, the last time he's Anakin is in the film when he kills Palpatine and he
Yeah, like that's
gets Luke to look
Anakin.
at him with his own eyes. That
You
is
just don't
the
like the way he
final.
looks.
Yeah, that's the final glimpse of Anakin in the film. So that argument is dumb. So yeah, fuck you, whoever said that argument. I got mad at that person and yelled at them in a YouTube comment section because that's just what I do. But yeah, let's have a look what we got. Chat.
The
From the
puppets
original
from the
Phantom Menace.
original
Yeah,
look like
they had a lot of
corpses.
trouble with that actually. Yeah. I think yeah, it was because the reason they had so much trouble was because a lot of the puppets were like in places like actual like kind of things where it's just really difficult to like get
Right.
underneath stuff and move them. So it was like kind of odd that the things they had to do to get that to work at all were pretty fucking tenuous. So the change of CGI did not bother me when they redid the Phantom Menace for like whatever for their CGI bit or whatever, the DVD release or whatever. Yeah, that didn't
And
bother
back,
me.
the chronological order is the correct order. That's why they're numbered that way. Well, yeah, like I hear you, but like, like a purist, if you will, like me, I like to watch in release order. I like watching the OT, and then like, the I am your father reveal. That hit me as a kid. You know what I'm saying? If you watch 1 through 6 in chronological, you don't get that. You don't
Yeah,
get
you
that.
don't get that at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't get that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I like watching it because I like watching the entire story of like Anakin from child to grown up to Jedi Knight to Vader to redemption arc of Luke. So like I like, you can watch it both ways. I like watching it either way. Honestly, I
Yeah,
enjoy it either
I
way.
went through it. Yeah, I went through it because the last time I watched it, I went through it 1 to 6. So I went with fucking what was it? I'll start with Phantom Menace, then went straight to Return of the Jedi. Like
Yeah,
obviously not like that, but like 1 through 6, you know.
yeah, I
So I
got you.
went like that, and yeah, the whole Vader reveal just doesn't hit at all with the knowledge that Luke is like from this. Luke was born from Padme and all that, and
Right.
Anakin becomes Darth Vader, so none of it really matters. So if you watch it that way, that whole reveal kind of fizzles
Yeah,
and doesn't really mean anything, which
I
really annoys
definitely
me. But,
I
yeah,
definitely encourage you guys in the chat, if you're showing Star Wars to someone for the first time, just show them in release order. It
it pays them. It's a better
it's a
payoff.
better payoff. Yeah.
I agree, John. It's one of my favorite lines as well. God. When
You
Ephraim was
already
put,
have Luke. Oh, dude, don't hit me with that right now.
and I think what makes it even better is the piano version of
Oh, the
the
Emperor.
Imperial March playing.
The Vader's March. Or yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
it's oh god, it does get you because
Dun,
John
dun,
Williams,
dun,
everything
dun,
about that is just
dun,
oh
dun,
no, you're gonna
dun,
make John cry.
dun.
Actually, do that, please. It'll be
It's
perfect.
one of the best. Oh, motherfucker. You guys got me with that. Tell your
Yeah,
sister you were right. You were
yeah,
right about me. Oh my god. Right in the field. It
good,
gives me
good
chills
stuff.
every time. Every time.
Literal chills. God, I can't say any of these sentences anymore without feeling like a fucking goober person because I see so many goober shill people using that terminology. God,
You
can't they just shut
use
up?
the terms. Use the terms, Keely.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
CGI Yoda is way better than Puppet Yoda. Yeah, I agree, and I feel like it feels more consistent with the trilogies.
Didn't they do that for the Blu-ray release? Was the CGI Yoda, or am I mistaken?
I can't remember what exactly when that change was made, but yeah, they changed the CGI. They changed the fucking Puppet Yoda to the CGI one, which was a good change. It's more consistent with the films, so it didn't really bother me.
Yeah, because they're the prequel edits. Like I want to say the widescreen DVD releases came out already, and they were still like true to the theatrical release. But then at some point, I don't know if it was a re-release of DVD or it was when it switched over to Blu-ray is when George did the edits for the prequels. So I know for a fact that the Revenge of the Sith stuff that was edited in, like one of the bigger ones was like the vocals for the clones like talking to one another during the battle on Utapau.
Oh yeah, because that was that not in it originally? I don't think it was.
Or like like when the clone battalions make landing after
when
General
they jump off the little things,
yeah, and they're like go, yeah, and they start
Yeah.
talking to each other. Like I that's a significant one that I know for a fact. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, like it was the
Righto.
Leonardo DiCaprio whistle point meme. Yeah.
What do you think of that change in general? Do you think that's because that kind of I don't
I could
I don't
have
really
it or
like
not.
that change that much because if the clones were prior to that categorized as like kind of silent doing their stuff kind of thing, that kind of gives more of a leeway to Filoni's stuff, and I don't like that at all.
I hear you on that note, but in my opinion,
like that change.
like when it was quiet and you didn't hear them audibly like all like yelling out loud, that I honestly thought they were communicating to each other, but just inside of their helmets on their comm links.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
change,
like I didn't.
I know the change just messes with that a bit. I personally don't particularly like that change. I never did. I thought kind of messed with that and kind of makes things messy. But George never is happy with anything he makes. He'll just change anything. He's always been like that. If he had any sort of care left for Star Wars, he would probably come back and do a couple re-edits to certain things.
Right.
That's just how he's always been.
And George, like exactly, like Yoda from the Phantom Menace looks like it has AIDS. I don't know why it looks like that when the puppet from the OT looks perfect. Yeah, because we're talking like what, like a time span of like I want to say like 30-40 years from Phantom Menace to when we see Yoda in Empire. So it's in Yoda's lifespan, it's not that long, so he would look relatively very similar. So
yeah,
I'm there with you on that one. The puppet definitely, yeah, the Phantom Menace Yoda puppet is cursed for all time.
Yeah, it just looks a bit odd because I don't know. There's something about it. Vex asks, have you guys been reading any EU stuff lately? Well,
go ahead. You can answer that first. No? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened to Keely. I think he went quiet for a minute. Me personally right now, I haven't been reading anything. I've been doing like audiobook snippets from I want to say it's Bunce Books, I want to say. And I think I was just reading or listening to a couple audiobook excerpts, some little clips from different audiobooks. That's kind of where I've been getting my fix lately. I did start the Truce at Bakura audiobook because I did my read through of Truce at Bakura over the holidays. I smashed through it. I want to say like in like about like 2-3 weeks, I want to say. But I am going through, or I did start my audiobook unabridged listen last week when I came on set with my sickness. So I am in the middle of the Truce of Bakura audiobook currently right now.
Yeah, I just went out to quickly find the book that I was going to talk about, which
Oh
was
yeah, yeah.
Star
There you go.
Wars,
There you go.
Star Wars Jedi Apprentice: The Call to Vengeance. I didn't remember the name, so I had to go quickly grab it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's one I've been reading, and I'm trying to hunt the other ones down, but it's a bit hard because I live in a country town. Not every single you're not going to find everyone selling fucking used Star Wars books around here. So
Right.
I'm still hunting for the other set of them. That's what I've been reading currently. So yeah.
Nice.
And
Jedi
as far
Apprentice.
as other EU stuff, regrettably TCW is technically part of the EU, and I've been watching through all that. It's not great because it just irks me how many fucking times this show just fumbles easy wins. Like, come on, you can't just leave. Oh god, there's so many.
Yeah.
It's such a. Ugh.
he's
I
gonna
just
spaz
face palm every
out.
single time I see something. It's like, come on. There's so many times that like it's like, oh, okay. What can you do here? I see what you can do here. It's like obvious kind of stuff. Are they gonna do it? No.
And to answer your question, why do I hear myself talking? Okay, it's gone. To answer your question, backseater, I'm not familiar with Hand of Thrawn 45. Send me the maybe I'll look that up later. But if you're on X, send me the link so I don't forget. But I will definitely check that out. Does fan fiction? I'm all game for some fan content. He said, "Why are you putting through yourself through that again, Keely?" Vex wants to know.
Yeah, the reason is because of upcoming content that I'm trying to do. I want to get some videos off that are just simple stuff, but it's more or less to kind of fight the kind of reasoning that I see a lot. The kind of TCW is good for whatever reason, even though it doesn't really do the things. Like the whole argument that it makes the prequels better kind of falls apart when you realize the start of it doesn't even connect to the prequels. They don't even bother doing character depth or characterization or any of the things you need to have character growth. So that just sucks. Yeah, stuff like that. And I also just wanted to check out how bad some of the stuff was because I remember when we had the conversation, me, you, Star Wars Screen, Narrow Dark, about the whole fucking Count Dooku telling them.
Oh yeah, the Darth
that
Tyrannus mishap. Yeah,
that whole thing. Yeah, everything about that was
Scran did a nice
and
video on that.
I needed to see if I missed anything. That's all because I know I probably did. And I have found some interesting things.
You're like, if I missed that, what else did I miss? Exactly. So
yeah,
you're giving it a go, giving it a whole new little look. See, I ain't mad at that. And I've been reading the KOTOR comics. Oh yeah, and the Knights of the Old Republic comics are great. I forget the name of the main protagonist, the runaway Padawan, basically, that catches the council killing the students, and then he gets away because they saw like one of the one of the female council member. She sees like a vision in the force of like an apprentice. That's I won't spoil the whole thing, but it's KOTOR is a good comic line, good run by Dark Horse. You get some insights into like pre-Dark Side Malik before him and Revan's turn to the dark side, so lots of good stuff there. Go if you guys haven't go check. If you guys are fans of Knights of the Old Republic video game, you'll definitely like the comic book from Dark Horse. Yeah, Zane Carrick. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, Zane's a good character. Yeah, and there's lighthearted moments. There's some funniness to it. I think was Narrow Dark's still covering Star Wars Legacy, the the saga about Cade Skywalker, one of the descendants of Luke, and that Legacy is a bit more on like the darker, like no pun intended, the darker side of things, because there's a lot of fucked up stuff going on around that time. So if you definitely want to get into something that's a bit more on the edgier, bit of the darker spectrum for Star Wars stuff, Legacies for you.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's more or less the stuff that was coming out just prior to Disney's buyout. Is that correct?
Legacy came out like in, I want to say like fuck, dude, like 2000 and I have the comic over there in the box, but I'm not going to get up and look. But I want to say that Star Wars Legacy is in like the mid, like 2000s to
Yeah, that
2010.
tracks in terms of like the edginess and the more
Yeah.
darker. Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, 2006. Thanks.
Thank you, Vex.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of like the latter end of just before, like around the That's kind of that tracks with everything I was thinking then.
Hella random, Keely, but I came across when I was like thumbing through for like Star Wars news or any like little tabloid things. I saw something, man, and you guys in the chat, you guys might find this informative. You guys might not give a fuck, but we're gonna go ahead and do like a little couple minutes on this. I find it funny or I find it interesting because I'm a collector. I collect certain things. One of the things that I want to dabble in, I would love to dabble in, is like prop replicas, or like the master saber props, like hilts that came out back in the day. The Darth Sidious one is definitely one of the coveted ones that I would love to get my hands on. But there are other things besides lightsabers, of course, from the cast and the prop departments from Lucasfilm of old. And one of those things is actually going up for sale, and you too can own the prop medal that Luke Skywalker, aka Mark Hamill, wore in Star Wars, and you can own it for a measly only £476,000.
Yeah, time to sell every bit of my family's livelihood just to buy a fucking medal. All right, why not?
Chewbacca would kill for this.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So basically, this was covered by British Broadcasting Company.com/news, and they basically covered that a prop store in Rick Mensworth, Hert Hertfordshire. I can't pronounce your fucking foreign countries' names. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Is selling the Medal of Yavin, worn by future Jedi Master Luke during the first film in the franchise. The the medal is also believed to have been worn by Harrison Ford, who played Han Solo during rehearsals for the 1977 film, later retired Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. Brandon Eilinger from Pop Prop Store said the item held a special place in cinematic history, and it goes on sale in Los Angeles in March with the price estimate of $300,000 to $600,000 American, which is roughly about 238,000 pounds to 476,000 pounds. The medal came from the collection of props master Gerard Bjork, who worked on the original Star Wars films shot at Elstree Studios. Prop Store claimed it was the first and only medal to be offered for public sale after its team researched the prop. I can't fucking talk today.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, holy cow, right? I find this interesting. We don't have to attach this. Yeah, exactly, Vex. Holy fuck, right? We don't have to attach this to Mark Hamill himself, but this is definitely a nice little thing that is going up for grabs. Maybe a really, really rich fan could acquire something like this. Not in this lifetime personally for me, but yeah, how about that? Something that is very iconic from the original trilogy, from the original Star Wars movie, and you could own a piece of it.
Yeah, for that much money, but yeah, I'm not paying that.
Oh yeah, of course not. Of course not. Yeah, like I know there was a guy in one of the big cities nearby who actually owns the original prop of Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber hilt. I know that that's floating around here nearby in one of the nearby cities. I know for a fact that's a thing because I went to a local like comic convention that was put together by several of the comic shops, and this guy had it in like a big old fat thick glass display, and everybody was like oogling over that thing just because, like, why wouldn't you? Like, it's original Star Wars prop replica, not even a replica, but an original Star Wars prop. And that's just
Cool as fuck.
amazing. That's just cool as fuck, man. It's just amazing for Star Wars fans to see something like that in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, one thing I want to
go ahead.
Now, one thing I want to talk about in regards to this that I saw is so this metal thing, right? This whole just as something else I was going to talk about as well.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, with the whole metal thing, we'll get to that thing I'm presenting next. I thought it was pretty interesting that the actual metal seems to be relatively good, like good condition in terms of the actual gold bit itself. Like, obviously you see a bit of wear and tear bit there, and the little like thing that goes around your neck bit. But yeah, it's in relatively good condition. It's like, God, some of these people actually put effort into making sure these things stay like.
Yeah, they standed the test of time.
Yeah. Like these things weren't designed just to be thrown away. Like, really good shit from the people who made this. Like, God.
Yeah,
I
man.
remember when
Yeah.
it was put into things.
Carrie Fisher touched that thing, man.
Yeah, if I was standing there in front of Carrie Fisher in that little dress she's wearing and she puts that on, yeah, I would not be turning around to face the like how many dudes like around like down in the little things or whatever, because they would notice something about my pants. But yeah, enough of that. We have something to present. I do. So
real quick, Vex said, if you could have any prop from the Star Wars movies, what would you choose?
Luke's Return of the Jedi lightsaber. Yeah, that's mine.
That's a good one. Me, I would want. I want Count Dooku's hilt from Attack of the Clones.
That's a pretty good pick as well. It's a lot of people's personal favorite just because it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. Like, the first time of watching Attack of the Clones in theaters, and I saw that curved handle, I was just like, "Oh, gotta have it. I need that ASAP right now.
I fucking need that shit.
I need it." Yeah. Vex said mine would be the Luke's original lightsaber, the first one seen on screen. Oh, okay, got you. That's a good one. That's a good one. Backseater said Grievous's mask. That's also a good one. I like that. Ooh, dude, I would love it if I had like the burnt up corpse of Grievous like in a case on the wall. Oh, that would be so sick.
It's
a real niche one, right? Like, but that's yeah, man. I would want that.
I know what John would pick. He'd pick the outfit that Padme wore in Attack of the Clones when discussing her relationship with Anakin on Naboo.
The
that one
in black dress.
Yeah. I find it really funny that the outfit she chose to wear in front of Anakin when discussing whether or not they should still be together is the really sexy black outfit.
Hey, you can't have none of this, but look at these tits.
Oh God.
Oh man. Save Leia but Sydney Sweeney. There you go.
Ah, thank you, John.
I
believe you.
All right. So Keely has something to present. I just wanted to get that real quick. I know if you guys are Star Wars nerds, you were gonna have a nice little geek out over that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing we're presenting. Once Decrepit bothers to throw it up, but this kind of stuff, the kind of one thing I've been seeing a lot is I've seen Everest Productions and various other fan workers, but fan people doing fan films or creations or whatever. One thing that I found interesting is the fact that there's a lot of TCW inspired animations, and the fact that they can pump these out and actually create these on their own really is telling, considering Lucasfilm can't even get like one show out a year or whatever, or they barely put anything into them. And like these things, like, they're not completely polished. You can obviously see it's a lot more. I'll just quickly turn that down while I play it. But yeah, like there's a lot. It's not as like smooth or whatever as the ones you get from Disney Lucasfilm. But like these things are like the actual fact that they could do this, and this is something that they could do really quickly, obviously. And these are just like random people on the internet. These are not $1 million fucking company. How can't they fucking create stuff? Is it just a lack of ideas or anything, or what do you think? Like, is there like a fucking reason why they just can't pump out tons of this shit if they wanted to?
I want to say so. I hear you. I hear that like the lack of creativity. Like, why couldn't they put something like this together? But I want to say that the first time that the Blaze Trooper was seen was actually in the Revenge of the Sith adaptation video game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the Blaze Troopers. Yeah, it's kind of goofy looking, but I kind of like it at the same time.
Of course, yeah, of course. But here, like I think let me see if I can pull up this photo real quick.
I'll stop screen.
Okay, it's a little. This is a little bit of more of like a. This is the first one that I saw that basically. But yeah, that right there. Yeah, like
Yeah,
the Blaze
yeah.
Troopers were like, yeah, that's the first time I ever saw them.
They are wacky looking. The fact
For
that
sure.
there's like a clone trooper inside them, it's absurd, but it's not something that bothers me. I think they look fine. I think they're funny. Have you seen the original design for the Bomb Squad troopers?
Squad troopers.
I'll present it. I'll
so.
quickly grab it. They look kind of goofy. I'll bring it up.
Then Backseater said, I think it's because a lot of people still see Star Wars as a live action franchise and animation still carries some stigma. And you know what? I hear you, Backseater. I agree with that sentiment. But you know, I don't want to just pin. I don't like to like, or maybe I'm just being overzealous, but I don't like to pin. Even though Star Wars, the main Star Wars universe that we were all introduced to, was in the films. I like, you know, Star Wars Marvel purist says it best. Like, Star Wars is a multimedia project, and it spans over so many different mediums, and no matter what you're looking at, whether it be the comics, the EU novels, the cartoons, or the cartoon from Tartakovsky's Clone Wars, and to the cinematic films, it's all Star Wars.
Yeah, and the fact that people... Oh, yeah, here it is. But there we go.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, look at this. This was the early Bomb Squad Trooper design. It looks so wacky.
What the fuck? Where's his knee pads? Where's his boots? This is...
Yeah, it was really wacky. Yeah. They eventually went with just standard clone in like different, like, very high visibility colors.
Like thank Christ, because this right here is just like, yeah, Vex, what the fuck? What in the fuck is this?
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Wait, I'll see if I can get this image up of what they actually went with.
How embarrassing! How embarrassing!
Alright, this is what they went with, which is just, this is what they eventually went with. This, because I'm pretty sure the reason they didn't go with that design was because it was going to be extremely awkward to animate. So what they did was they just went, all right, let's have orange markings so people know to not be near these dudes, which, fine, I guess. But I think you probably would still need some, like, a little bit more to add to this. It's a bit plain.
Right.
And what's even funnier about this is the fact that for whatever reason, the Bomb Squad dudes who only ever appear in like one episode to like disarm some bombs or whatever, Lego decided to put them, like, 2 of these guys in a battle pack, like a normal clone trooper battle pack. So you would have more of a chance of army building these guys than a bunch of normal clone troopers, which is just absurd to me. Like, why? Maybe Lego just thought they looked cool or something. They
Lego
have been,
always thinks that every idea that they come up with is the bee's knees.
yeah, they're Danish. It's what you expect. They're kind of weird over there.
They're
Like,
kind of pompous douchebags.
yeah, goofy fellas,
And they
certainly.
charge $75 for a little box of plastic. But we're not going to talk about
I
that.
want. Where's my turbo tank? Yelled 5-year-old me. I want that shit.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
who didn't want the fucking turbo tank?
yeah. It's also oh, give me turbo tank. But it's like, how much is it? It's like, yeah. Every fucking 7-year-old child looked at the turbo tank in the Lego store and was like, I need that shit. Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the lucky fuckers that got it. Oh god, everyone would be like, let me fucking play with the big wheels.
Yeah,
God.
man. And that was the one that came with the light up lightsaber Mace Windu.
Yeah,
And
and then they did a remake of it, which just made the design better, but it also came with the oh god, I need to bring these up because these are hideous. All right.
backseater, you're a fucking liar. Just kidding. You didn't want the turbo tank, man. That's interesting.
He didn't want the turbo tank. Lies. All right, where is
Yeah,
it?
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's why I called him a liar, because I'm like, everybody wanted the turbo tank, bro.
If you didn't want any kind of version of the turbo tank, you didn't grow up right.
And the commercial that sold it to you, just
Oh,
worked.
that. Where is it? I found them. All
He
right, here
said,
we
I don't
go.
even. Oh, we're gonna have to remedy that backseater. He said, I don't even know what the fuck a turbo tank is. You're gonna find out. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll fucking show you what a turbo tank is. All right, but instead, so with the '08 Clone Wars, they decided to try and base it off the animation style, and you got monstrosities like this.
God.
Oh no! Look at the face. It's ugh. It's so bad.
You know, the Ahsoka figure and the little Jabba the Hutt son one that came out when this came out is more cursed than this, I feel.
Yeah, they're really bad as well. The only ones that I think are slightly funny in how they're done are the Mandalorians. Mando Clone Wars figures. Just quickly get that up.
All right, and then when
Logo.
after you get that, I got something for backseater. You're gonna find out,
Oh,
dude.
oh, well, good to know that every single image of it, the top images at least, are all Disney Star Wars ones. I typed up Mando Clone Wars figures Lego. We got all the new Disney Star Wars Mando,
Yeah, of course you
Mando,
will.
the ones from the Mandalorian.
Yeah, dude, you type in Star Wars stuff and all that pops up is the new revised canon and Disney canon bullshit. You can't even look up the old school stuff anymore.
I found him.
Here we go.
Why do they look like this? It's so funny. Look at this. Look at his face. What is that fucking face?
Oh yeah. He looks like
It's the eyes. Like what?
looks like Voldemort.
He's got the goofiest grin too. Like, oh god.
And they all look like that too. Like they're
these ones were kind of funny looking though. Yeah, you have to see them in person. They're even worse. That's a pretty good.
I really hope nobody would pay like $28 for that figure.
Oh god, they're valuable just because the heads suck and you can just replace them with the black ones. But there's this weird thing that happens with the Lego ones. You either get the helmet line really high up, really low down, or just right. The really high up ones more happen with recent figures, and then the really low ones are also more recent, but they also happened back then as well. The middle ones, they look really good. Like the prints look perfect, and you do get a lot of that in the older Clone Wars ones. The new ones, terrible. But yeah, the only bad thing about those figures was the stupid fucking faces, and I don't know why they went with it. Like for all the other prior Clone Wars stuff for the movies or whatever, or just I'm pretty sure they were going to do some for the '03 Clone Wars,
right?
But I think that went out the window with a couple of like Revenge of the Sith started coming around because Lego gets the like proto images before the films come out. Because building a Lego set and designing it to make it look like the thing from the movie is kind of difficult. So yeah, they obviously abandoned that for
translation to Lego is a tricky thing. That's a
Yeah.
good thing they
But yeah.
hire specific people for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Backseater,
Yeah.
this one is particularly for you, my friend, because you said, "What the fuck?" Backseater said, "What the fuck is
Oh
a turbo
yes,
tank?"
yes, yes.
So,
This ad, yes.
so this is for you, Backseater. Okay, this is for you, my friend. This is the original 2005 commercial for the Lego clone Star Wars clone turbo tank.
The fate of the galaxy is in your hands with a new Lego clone turbo tank. You can take command, arm your cannons, raise the periscope, ignite your lightsaber, and hunt down the enemy. No matter the obstacles, no matter the terrain, you control the action. With a new Lego Star Wars collection, each set sold.
Who doesn't want that, Backseater? You don't want that? I want that. I know for a goddamn
God.
fact I want that.
Oh, they abandoned the fact that Lego abandoned this form of advertising really sucks because this was the shit. And it went on for quite a while. I think they only abandoned it in like 2016. No, it might have been not even that. I think it was like 2019.
Yeah, they were still doing this style of like advertisements even when they did Clone Wars Lego sets. So yeah, it was a little.
No, they were doing
after.
them even further. I think it's.
You think so?
They've been doing it. I think it ended in 2019. Also,
go
fun fact
fuck yourself.
Yeah,
go fuck yourself, mate.
You suck balls. God.
He said it's just a tank. Fuck off.
No, it's
you
not.
Don't
it has
have
big wheels and it goes.
Because we have
nostalgia.
We have nostalgia. That's why.
Nostalgia.
And this right here, bro, this minifigure is one of the most expensive like Lego Star Wars minifigures that you can have nowadays. Like this one and the light up Darth Vader are like two of the most sought after Lego Star Wars minifigures.
The only thing I don't like about
go fuck yourself.
The only thing I don't like about these sets is I really don't like the clone trooper designs. I think they're kind of goofy looking. I think they aged kind of poorly considering what they look like in the film. But
you know what, go ahead.
Keep in mind that these clone troopers that are in those sets are based off the concept, like the stuff that was being made for the Phase 2 clone troopers prior to the film's release.
Right.
And so if you actually, funnily enough, if you go look at the behind the scenes for Ayla Secura's death and all that, the clone troopers look more or less like the Lego ones than the ones we see in the film. So yeah, that's why Lego always get the sneak peek into the films before anything happens.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they always did.
It'd be pretty neat to do so, but obviously, if you say anything, that you'll get fucking murdered by lawyers. So yeah, don't. Shh.
You know what? It's okay. Backseater, it's all right, dude.
It's
had
okay
to
have wrong opinions.
You had to have been there. It's okay to be absolutely fucking horribly wrong.
Just know that I think lesser of you because you made that statement.
How embarrassing. How embarrassing.
Yeah, I love that Yoda little clip where he's just going, how embarrassing. It just reminds me of better times where things were they were funny, they were humorous, but it wasn't out of some need to be like, oh, we need funny in this. It was just like, oh, just part of the story, you know, I like that.
But it's okay, Backseater. We still love you.
Well, maybe Decrepit does. I hate everyone.
We know you.
No, I love everyone. I'm a very happy person. Fucking, what else?
Did you have anything left on your agenda that you wanted to get off your chest for this episode?
Well, I'll quickly see if I can find something. Hold on.
Because like I said, like the title says, nothing is happening. Nothing really else is going on. We talked about Mark Hamill losing his fucking pants at the BAFTA Awards. That was fucking funny. Everyone loved seeing that.
Newsweek in regards to Star Wars and pop culture in general has been quite weak.
Skywalker loses trousers.
Skywalker.
Much funnier than they fly now. Yeah. Why? That's one of the laziest. Rise of Skywalker is full of so much fucking lazy writing That being one of them, and then the fucking opening the opening of the movie starts with Poe saying, "Somehow Palpatine returned." Like, oh God, does Ray even know who the fuck Palpatine is? Like, fuck. Ah, God, kill me with fire. I wish I wish no one can do it, but I wish you could unwatch. I wish you could unwatch the sequel trilogy films.
Yeah, particularly The Force Awakens. That's the one I hate the most. I just can't stand it. It just feels like corporate. It's the one I hate the most.
I remember watching The Force Awakens for the first time and me being so disgusted. I looked to my left to my friend that was watching the movie with me, and he dead ass looked at me in the face and said, "Isn't this the greatest Star Wars movie you've ever seen?" I could have fucking punched him in the face there and then. I could have punched him in the face there and then, but I did not. But
If that was my mate,
I'm
that
a
would have
bad
been
friend for
violent.
that.
It would have been violent.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm a
god.
bad friend for not calling that out when it happened. What do you got for me? You want me to put it up?
Yeah, these are. I'm pretty sure these are like all the. These were
Okay, here
also
we go.
everywhere. I forgot.
Army with a Lego Star Wars Republic Attack Cruiser from the new Lego Star Wars collection. Each set sold separately. From Lego Star Wars, the Clone Wars rage on, and the Jedi need your help. You can build the
Yes, the
ARC-170,
ARC-170,
load
yeah.
the clone pilots, arm the rockets, open the wings to attack position, and blast off to join the fight. Watch out! Droid Tri-Fighters are in pursuit. With the ARC-170, you control the battle. The all-new Star Wars collection.
They really went ham with the 08 Clone Wars ones. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I remember them. They were on every fucking channel too. They were. Oh
Clone
god.
Wars when it happened, man, it was a thing. It was the fad.
Yeah, it was
it was
everything.
Star Wars. It was Star Wars at one
It was
point.
the Star War for a period of time. Yeah. I remember that. I'm pretty sure that the turbo tank one is in here as well.
New from Lego Star Wars. The Jedi are in pursuit of Cad Bane and General Grievous.
I hate that fucking
Quick,
General
you can
Grievous.
build a massive clone turbo tank. Load your
Oh,
heroes.
just hold on.
You can build a massive
I'll go back because
collection. Each set sold new from Lego Star Wars. The Jedi are in pursuit of Cad
don't you just love how he has like a really convenient wall just that opens and he just
Yeah.
jumps out of it
No, yeah,
without any-
everything's convenient. Yeah, it's actually
God,
pretty
dude.
on par with Clone Wars right there.
Yeah, honestly, if this was in the show, it wouldn't have surprised me. But I find it so funny that everything Lego did back then, like even like up to like 2014, they were still doing this stuff. Like it's all
Cad
fucking
Bane and General Grievous. Quick, you can build a massive clone turbo tank. Load your heroes and find General.
I also like the joke that they said load your heroes. They only put the clone troopers in there.
Yeah.
Oh no. The only two characters.
I don't like
worth
this version because I can't stand the tire design for this one. I like the old tire design
Yeah,
for
the
the
old
first
tires
turbo
are
tank.
fucking way better. The problem with
They
the
just
build
aesthetically
itself
look
is
better.
superior. Like I know the quality of this one's superior, but the wheels, it's just no. And the remake they made of this one is even worse. It's the same kind of wheels but smaller, and the whole thing's just smaller, which is on par for.
The clone turbo tank and General Grievous Starfighter. New from Lego Star Wars. Each set new.
Yeah. Also, fun fact: if you don't know this, the dude for the voices Agent 47 and the Hitman games is the same guy that does the voiceover for these ads.
Really?
Right. Yeah, he does it. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago I found that out.
Was it during your replay of Hitman?
Yeah, I was like, hold on, because I remember someone saying something similar to that about he was in other ads, and I was like, hold on. So I looked at his name, and I was like, let's see what else he's in, and he voiced the dudes in the he's the whole the Lego City line where the dude goes like, hey, or whatever.
That's him.
He did all that. Yeah, that's him. He did all that shit.
Hey, you can build the skyscraper. Yeah.
Construct the planes.
Construct the Boeing 575.
And fly it into the Twin Tower.
Whoa.
Oh,
Have some respect for my country, mate. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. We make memes and laugh about it till this day.
that's not sold in the Middle East. God.
Controlled
But yeah,
explosion.
God.
Ah.
There's so many. Oh God. There's like one where they re-edit the dude voicing it and have him say like something. It was like the Tiananmen Square Lego set or whatever. God, it's so bad. It's all so mean.
Yeah, Vex. Yeah, Vex. I played them. I
That
would
hit me in the
dabble.
nostalgia. Oh no, stop. Better times. No.
Better days, man. Better days. I remember
Why
the
doesn't-
Star. I remember when StarWars.com was like an actual cool fucking website.
Yeah, when there was actually
StarWars.com was
value
the
in going
shit.
there. Oh God.
You could do like they had like online coloring books, and I would give everybody fucking red lightsabers. I remember giving Obi-Wan a red lightsaber, and I looked at it for a minute, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't like that." And then I fucking gave him a purple one. I just filled it with blue. You can make it purple.
Oh no, so many memories of fun tisms back when you could actually care about Star Wars and like it. Back. We wish we could turn back time. No, I'm not singing that on here for you. But yeah.
Sing for me.
No. Why doesn't Star Wars do any crossover stories? I swear they did some at one point, but I just don't think it's valuable for Star Wars to do those sort of things. I just don't think so. Unless it's like a wider, expansive kind of.
John, you remember? I remember.
I remember.
I
We
remember.
remember.
We remember.
We remember.
Yeah, man. He said, I can't remember anything specific about those games on the Lego website. It's too distant a memory. Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. Like that was back when I was like, fuck, dude, like 9 years old, 8 years old when I went on the Lego website.
I remember they had them up for a while, but eventually they just removed them to make the website more commercial. Because back then, Lego was never really like in the traditional commercial sense. It was more or less just like something that was like valuable to kids. It wasn't like I wouldn't describe it as like something that was like more or less investor driven. It was more family driven. And it's only been in the recent years when the last surviving member of the original family, who was or whatever, has kind of stepped away from stuff. It's where all this DEI and all that stuff, because Lego lasted a long time without any interruption by that stuff. It was only like in like 2022 that this stuff started to seep into the company, and that was around, I think it was 2 years after he said that his goodbyes in terms of leading the company. So yeah,
right.
Interesting stuff, but yeah, poor Lego. They deserve much better.
I don't know. They make a
Yeah.
buco of fucking money, dude. Honestly, I don't really feel bad for Lego.
Yeah, I don't know, because it was just like at one point they were actually like, it was like a company that I actually liked to give my money to. It wasn't like someone was like, oh God, these people suck. These people were actually good. Like they had values.
You used to stand for something. You used to be somebody.
Oh,
now
God.
look at you now. Yeah, but nah, man. Like I said, other than Mark Hamill's fucking pants falling down and us going down memory lane, nothing's really going on with Star Wars. They got Andor season 2 cooking up, Ahsoka season 2's cooking up. The Rey film keeps being talked about every other fucking day. New writers, new people. What's that?
Cooking is I would describe it as that. It's usually positive.
Yeah, excuse me. They're sizzling over the lukewarm
it's in
fire.
Their cauldron, poison and deceit.
Bubble, toil. Kathleen Kennedy with the bubble, toil and trouble. You know, just swirling that fucking Sue stick around. Vex said it's raw.
Anything Filoni comes out is raw, pretty much.
It's
Anything that goes
fucking
through his
raw. Speaking of raw, guys, I'm sure, I'm sure, and I hope you guys enjoyed our raw opinions, our raw takes on another episode of Unlimited Tirade. This has been episode 4. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to go ahead and call it. We got to wrap it up. I do have work early in the AM on my side of the pond, and I'm sure Keely has better things to do than to keep ranting here with me and hearing the tisms of old. Keely, anything coming out that anybody should know about on your end, mate?
Yeah, more or less, it's just, well, I'm almost finished all of the original 6 seasons of TCW, and my kind of general thoughts. I'll make a couple. I've got a lot of videos planned in
We're gonna
regards
get
to
some
what can
TCW
I
ripping
do.
content.
Yeah, it's more or less that kind of stuff. There's a lot to talk
Nice.
about. I found a lot of interesting stuff on the rewatch, because I think the last time I rewatched it was like 4 years ago. Now, and then I think that was when I watched it with a mate, because I didn't want to buy Disney Plus because I didn't want to support the stupid company. So I just saw,
Of course.
my friend had it, so I just borrowed his fucking phone and I watched the season 7 on there, and it was so bad and so awful. And people were praising it for whatever reason. Apparently, it's good. It's not, but yeah. So expect more or less that kind of content from me coming forward for a little while in terms of
Right
videos.
on.
As far as live streams, I'll probably have a couple of lives. I was meant to have some earlier this week, but there was a lot of alcohol being involved in my week.
Oh yeah, of
so
course,
no,
man. Yeah.
no.
Yeah, man. And if you're
Yeah.
catching this replay, man, I'm gonna embarrass him again. If you're catching the replay, leave a comment, man. Tell Keely happy birthday. We would love to.
Yeah,
We would love
happy
to see
birthday to me.
We would love to see the love shown for my fellow host. Guys, shout out to the chat, guys. If you're watching this live, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Vex, shout out to Vex, shout out to Backseater, John Getz, shout out to you guys, Jorge Lucas, shout out to all of you guys. We really appreciate the support. And Narrow Dark said happy birthday. Narrow Dark. Catching the end of the stream. We missed you. We missed you this one.
Yay,
lad.
Narrow Dark. For my birthday present, may you send me your best images of Daphne Keane, because I know you really like that woman for some reason.
We know you got a couple in the tuck. And as far as me on my end, guys, I'm just I'm so sucked in and caught up with the 9 to 5 right now. Work is just a killer. So don't hold your breath on me putting out long form video anytime soon. I am working on multiple ones at the same time. But like I said, don't get your hopes up, but definitely stick around and keep sights for when the live streams are hitting. Those aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But thank you guys so much for watching this. This has been Unlimited Tirade episode 4. Nothing is fucking happening, and we like it that way. See you guys around next time, man, and thank you so much for watching.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Your work here is finished, my friend. Go out to the command ship and await my orders.
Yes, my mother twitted my fucking tip off!